Welcome to How to Improve Your Book's Presentation if you're already published. So does your book need some help? Did you publish too early? Had no idea what you were doing? Well, we've been there. When I think back to my first two books I published back in 2012, I cringe. I physically cringe and shudder. They were bad. I actually thought about posting a picture of them for you, but they were so bad, I'm not going to do that. But have no fear, it's okay. We all start somewhere. And even if your first efforts don't make you cringe, chances are you can still improve the presentation of your book after it's been published. In fact, I feel like I'm pretty much an expert on publishing now, and every 6 months or so, I'll still go through my backlist and update them just to keep them current. So why should you improve your book's presentation? Just one tweak or change can increase your sell-through. You've worked hard to promote your book and to get people to your book's sale page, but then something happens. Someone clicks your link, gets to Amazon or Apple or Nook, and then they say, never mind, and they don't purchase your book. This is where improving your book's presentation comes in. If reworking just one thing on your book can increase your sales by 10%, why wouldn't you do it? Step 1. Fix that blurb. Has your blurb been workshopped lately? Did you follow our lesson on blurbs? If no, then stop right there and go rework your blurb. Feel free to post it to our Facebook group to get some advice on how to rework it. Even if the answer is yes and you think you have a perfect blurb, you still might be able to improve it. Maybe the blurb itself is fine, but your call to action or tagline could be improved. Test out some new taglines. Test out a new call to action. Edit your book's description and then wait a month or two to see if sales improve. It might sound like a really small thing, but I have actually had a huge increase in book sales before when I changed my blurb from a boring blurb to a more exciting, enticing one. And sometimes shorter is better as well. Whenever I've had longer, like 3 or 4 paragraph blurbs, and I knock it down to like 1 paragraph or maybe 2 small paragraphs, I actually sell more books. So don't ever discount the idea of changing your blurb and seeing if that helps. Step 2, get a new cover. This can be expensive, but it's also a great idea if your original book cover isn't as sparkly and trendy as it could be. First, take a look at your book's genre on Amazon. And I'm only mentioning Amazon here because it's the largest ebook retailer, but feel free to look at other sites as well. Go to the top 20 bestsellers. Does your book cover blend in well with these covers? If so, then it's probably to market and it might not need updating. But does your cover stick out like a sore thumb? Is it homemade or low quality? If so, then you really need a new one. So here's an example of one of my books. The old cover of Natalie and the Nerd, I thought it was cute. I thought the characters were cute and the colors were cute. And I really love the fonts that I used, but the book wasn't selling as well as it could be. So on the right here is the new cover, which is even cuter and just kind of more modern and updated, and it's not as messy. It's kind of just simplified. And that really improved the sales of the book. So on the left, I feel like it's not a terrible cover, but it's not a great cover. And here's another example. So Believe in Me is one of my best-selling books to date, and it sold really well with the original cover as well. But the original cover is super boring and super simple, and yes, I created it myself, as you can tell. And the new cover uses the same image, but it's lightened. It has better fonts, it has some little sparkly details on top. And the new cover is resulted in a resurgence of sales for this series that had started to languish after a while. And I replaced the cover about 2 years after it released, which was really bad of me. I should have replaced it a long time ago. So that's just a great example of how you can keep the stock image if you really love your stock image, and you can still improve the cover to something better that will get you better sales. Step 3, update the interior. This is extremely important if you published your book a long time ago and have never looked back at it again. I've been there, trust me. But it's time to get to work. Pull up your ebook file and update your front matter and update your back matter. Is your newsletter link in there? Is there a call to action to leave a review and check out your next book? Have you updated the links to the rest of your books? Do you have a new, snappier author bio or picture? Update all of this. Perhaps you even found some typos in the manuscript since publishing. Update those too. Make it a sparkly new interior file and re-upload it. And if the file itself was just a Word document or something simple, you might want to consider using Vellum or Draft to Digital, or hiring a formatter to give it that professional edge, because a professionally formatted ebook really does wonders for selling books. So consider that as well. Step 4, update your categories. Did you know Amazon has dozens of subcategories nestled under the large ones? Is your book placed in the correct categories? Visit your book's sales page and scroll down to the ranking. Click on your categories and then look at the others around it. Would your book work well in sports romance in addition to contemporary romance? Well, you're in luck, because Amazon allows you to have your book in 10 categories at once. Even though all 10 won't show up on your book page, they'll still be there. Typically, only 2 to 3 categories show up on your book page, but Amazon will put your book in 10 different categories. So if someone clicks on that category and scrolls around, they can find your book in it. So what you do is go through all the categories on Amazon, make your list of 10 that best fits your book, and then you can email Amazon or call them through the Author Central link, the Contact Us link on Author Central, and you can ask them to update your categories. They usually take care of this within a day or 2. Step 5, update your keywords. So Amazon gives you 7 keywords for your books, and other retailers like Draft to Digital, Apple, Nook, they give you, some of them give you more keywords, but they all have keywords. So a keyword is the phrase you type that someone would search for to search for your book. So are you utilizing them to their full potential? I used to put things like this in my keywords: romance, young adult, high school. And I had put those as 3 separate keywords of the 7 that Amazon gives me. Did you know that you can combine them? Use 1 keyword space on KDP to write something like young adult, high school, romance. Then if someone searches any combination of those words, your book will come up. So when choosing keywords, try to think of actual search phrases someone will type when searching for a new book to read. Don't type something like a book about a cowboy, because people probably won't search that. They're probably more likely to search cowboy book or cowboy romance. It's also helpful to use paid services like Publisher Rocket, or to ask around on the Facebook group for keyword ideas. And also don't discount updating them, because I have actually updated my keywords and then seen a boost in sales afterwards. So it's really a great and free option to try to get more sales to your book. Maybe make a note of the 7 keywords that you have right now, and then maybe change all 7 of them. Add more words to each keyword phrase, or add different phrases, change them all up, and then wait a month or so and see if your sales get better. And if they do, then leave your keywords, or you could try even more keywords to see if they get even better. Or if they don't, then you could go back to your old keywords. But it's definitely worth trying to see if switching up some keywords will get you more book sales. Step 6, give the book an edit. If it's been a really long time since you published and you've improved greatly as a writer, or if you couldn't afford a real editor back when you published, but you can afford one now, consider editing your book. Read through it one more time and fix all the weak parts. Don't change anything too big that results in the novel becoming entirely different. Just spruce it up a bit. Eliminate typos, tighten your prose, and make the novel better than it used to be. If your book is part of a series, this might be the tipping point that convinces someone to keep reading the rest of the books. And you could really look into this. Like, say you have a 5-book series, and if you look at your sales, you realize a lot of people buy book 1, but they don't buy book 2. Or a lot of people buy book 1, 2, and 3, but they don't buy book 4. If that's the case, then edit the previous book that people stop on and try to make it better so that they'll be enticed to keep reading throughout the rest of your series. And that's all for now. So happy updating your books. And please keep this in mind with every book that you publish, and maybe every 6 months to a year. Consider going back and just kind of refreshing and sprucing up your books. Consider adding them to different categories, especially since Amazon is always adding new categories to the list. See if there's any new ones that fit your book. Consider switching up the keywords, consider switching up your covers, and just constantly evolve as publishing and reading evolves as well. That way your books will keep selling.